How is everybody today? There we go. Bring some life into here. I am so excited to tell you about IONIQ Sciences today and the great work that we're doing in early cancer detection. Cancer affects us all, and the stats on it are nothing short of brutal. The American Cancer Society says that 1 in 2 Americans will get cancer and 1 in 5 will ultimately die from cancer. This is this is huge and has affected me in ways that are very deep and very personal, as I would imagine it has the many of you who are in the audience today. My father died from cancer. My best friend died at the age of 40 from cancer just a couple of years ago. And I've had other family members die from cancer recently. And the one thing that is common among all of them is that they didn't receive their diagnosis early enough. And so today I want to make a comparison. I'm going to tell you the IONIQ story. I'm going to tell you how we're different. But I want to make a comparison between how we diagnose cancer today and how I believe we will be diagnosing cancer in the future. IONIQ doesn't diagnose cancer directly. Instead of looking for cancer itself in the body, we actually look for the body's reaction to the presence of cancer. Now, I want to walk you through that in using existing technologies as an example. There are really two main ways of detecting cancer. The first one is imaging. The second one is biopsy. And I want to be specific today and talk about blood biopsy or liquid biopsy. In terms of imaging, this requires the cancer itself to become large enough that it is not only visible to imaging, but that we can actually make a determination as to what it is. So CT, PET, even X-ray. In terms of blood biopsy, or liquid biopsy, this requires the cancer to be large enough that it sloughs off enough in the bloodstream that we are then able to detect it. Both of these examples, or both of these technologies, if we can bucket those technologies, show us one thing. That is, just by our very nature, we are diagnosing cancer later than we need to, because the technologies themselves require that. So by looking instead for the body's reaction to the presence of cancer, we find that the body recognizes that cancer is there and has an oversized reaction to that cancer. And ultimately, it's that oversized reaction that we're detecting. I'm going to get a little more technical than I think we're used to at these meetings, but I want to walk you through how we do that. We utilize bioimpedance, which is a very up-and-coming technology. It's being used for a number of things. Groups like Samsung, GE, Google, Facebook, Apple, others are all working in bioimpedance right now. What we do with bioimpedance, though, is a little different than everybody else. And it really goes back to alternating current versus direct current. While traditional technologies, or the majority of the work that's being done in bioimpedance, uses alternating current, which goes through the skin, the tissue, the bones, and everything else, we use direct current, which by its very nature follows the path of least resistance. In this case, the interstitial fluid. We use this device here and this probe that we've developed, and we inject electrical current into the body at a very low rate. We then pull that out of the body with EKG-like electrodes, and over the course of 20 minutes, we collect 15,000 data points. We take those 15,000 data points, we put them into our proprietary algorithm, and we are able to determine the presence of cancer in the earliest stages. This is the process. So if you take a look at the screen, from start to finish, this only takes 20 minutes. From the time the patient sits down until the time that we have the report is 20 minutes in total. Patient sits down, we hook them up to the device, we run the scan, the device or the machine analyzes those data points, and we're able to give a report. Over the course of the last decade that we've been working on this, we've gotten better and better at this. And our results show that. What you're looking at there is actually our bioimpedance information in raw form. The light blue represents benign nodules. The light gray represents malignant nodules. This is specific for lung cancer, which is our first test in front of the FDA. With this, what we're looking for is separation between malignant and benign. And if you look at that, our PLW-216 study was 84% sensitive and 73% specific for lung. But we have continued to get better at this. Over the course of the last decade, the company has spent $35 million and has worked with some of the best research and academic facilities in the United States as we've worked to perfect this technology. We received a breakthrough designation and we submitted our lung cancer test to the FDA on February 1st, so just a few short weeks ago. We currently have started or have expanded our breast cancer trial, which is moving into what we call our phase 2 feasibility. And next month, I'm excited to announce that we are expanding into what we refer to as our GI cancer trial, looking at all cancers from the bottom of your chin to the top of your waist. Ultimately, all of this leading to what we believe will be our multi-cancer screen hitting the market years from now. As we look at this and as we talk about innovative technologies, one of the things that we have to address is how easily scalable is the technology itself. And in this particular case, we don't look, act, operate like a traditional diagnostic company. We don't have massive labs. We don't have a lot of lab techs walking around. We don't have hoods, and no one is pipetting in any rooms. Instead, we look, act, feel internally much more like a tech company, hardware, software, and then, of course, our clinical division, which is consistently working to run our trials and to expand our research. We anticipate that we will receive FDA approval sometime in 12 to 18 months. That is our goal. And we are excited to bring our lung cancer test to the market, followed by breast, and then working towards our multi-cancer screen. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it very much.